Hi guys, this is Ashley. I'm a personal trainer. I've been working in this field for about 7 years now, and I'm really excited to help people with their weight loss goals. Today we're going to talk about the Whole30 diet. Many people are trying this diet. If you're watching this, you probably have thought about it or you've already done it before. We're just going to go through what it is, and we're going to talk about some pros and cons to the Whole30 diet. First of all, the Whole30 diet is a diet that's aimed at taking a whole lot of foods out of your diet so that you can slowly reintroduce them and see if you have any food intolerances. That's what it was created to do. So it wasn't really created for weight loss or for glowing skin or for other things. It was mainly created to help you to find out if you really are gluten sensitive or if you really have an issue with soy or peanuts or dairy, and to be able to isolate those things. What it does is it cuts out a lot of that stuff. Nothing processed, no kind of sugar, no honey, stevia, table sugar, none of it. All of that gone. You're also not allowed to have legumes, which are things like peanuts and beans, soy, so tofu's gone. Just a lot of things are really cut out of this diet until you're basically left with nuts and seeds, meats, fruits and vegetables. That's pretty much the bulk of the diet right there. There's certain kinds of oils you can and can't have. There's a lot of rules that go into this diet. The other thing is they say no foods that are made to be like other foods. For instance, you couldn't have a cauliflower crust pizza. You can't have a strawberry and then take it and make it into something else, like making an ice cream or a smoothie out of it. Not allowed to do those things. So there's a lot of rules, but it is a pretty good diet for restricting a lot of things and finding out what you're intolerant to. Let's get into some of the pros of the diet. The first good thing about the Whole30 diet is that you're going to break a lot of food addictions. It really helps you to identify, wow, I didn't know I was eating so much chocolate, or I didn't realize every time I get stressed out, I reach for chips. Certain things like that will start to really open your eyes. You'll really become aware of how you're eating things that you may be addicted to, things you may be emotionally eating. You'll have a chance to identify that. And because the diet is so restrictive, when you're having those cravings, you're going to start reaching for new things. So you're tasting something sweet, you want to have some kind of sweet. Instead of getting a cake or cupcake or something, now you're not able to do that, so you'll probably have something like a piece of fruit. And you start making healthy changes and trying different foods you may not have tried before. For instance, when I do the Whole30, I try different noodle substitutions. So instead of having pasta, I'll have things like zoodles or sweet potato spirals. And I found that I like sweet potato spirals more than spaghetti squash. I wouldn't have done that under normal circumstances, but the Whole30 pushes you to try some different options. The second thing it does is it helps you to discover your food intolerances. That's what it's made to do. It really cuts your diet down and funnels it into things that are so healthy, so clean, so isolated, that when you get off the diet, you really will see like, wow, I ate one piece of bread and I felt miserable. And you'll really be able to identify how these different foods are affecting your body. So if you've ever had questions about, if you need to have a gluten-free diet or if you should cut out certain things, it's a great way to do that. I personally haven't seen other diets that are quite so tailored for this, to cut out so many things that you can really isolate what it is that's affecting you. The third thing the Whole30 diet does really well is that it helps you to lose weight. Lose weight and you will see a difference in inches as well. What happens is the diet is so restrictive, it kind of naturally creates a calorie deficit. Anytime you lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. But if you cut out all the complex carbs and all the processed foods, all the sugars, all these things, you end up with eating less calories. So you end up losing the weight. The other good thing is that you're eating so much more fruits and vegetables than you normally would. You're getting more fiber, more benefits for your digestion. And then with that digestion improving, you lose a lot of bloat. You're going to feel like you've lost inches over the 30 days. So in 30 days, losing some weight, losing some inches is pretty good progress. When I do this diet with my clients, we do the challenge for 30 days all together and try to encourage each other, lift each other's spirits while we go through it together. What we found is that the average is about 8 pounds lost. So some people will lose 10, 12, 15 pounds. Some people will lose 5 pounds, 6 pounds. Between them, it ends up being an average of about 8 pounds. So in 30 days, that's a pretty good loss that we've been able to see. Those are the main pros I see for the diet. Getting into the cons of the diet, there's definitely some things that aren't great about this diet and that make it difficult to recommend. The first con about the Whole30 diet is that it's not a lifestyle, it's not a diet change. It's really a challenge. When I talk to my clients about this, I usually really try hard to take the word diet out of my vocabulary. When I think diet, I think a lifestyle change. And usually that's what I promote to my clients. I don't want people doing on again, off again stuff. That's how you yo-yo with your weight, and that's not going to help you. The Whole30 diet is not a diet. It's a challenge. So I try to approach it with the mindset of a challenge. It's just like anything else that, wanting to win or complete. It's more like that, not so much a life change. The reason it's that way is because it's so restrictive that you cannot maintain it long term. There are some people that have managed to make the Whole30 diet their lifestyle diet, but they are few and far between. Most people do it for 30 days, and as soon as that 31st day comes, they are off the diet. So for that reason, I can't really recommend it. It's not like paleo or being a pescatarian or vegetarian, where it's something you maintain for a long term. This is just a challenge. So you have to approach it that way. The second thing that's a con for the Whole30 is it's not really friendly for everyone. I have clients, though, that are vegetarians. Some of them are vegans. And when they look at the list of foods you can't have, they almost can't eat anything. There's no tofu, no soy allowed. There's no beans allowed. If you're cutting out meat already from your diet, this diet can get so restrictive that it's just really, really difficult to maintain. Usually they'll make it maybe a few days in, maybe a week or something at most, and then they start having to kind of make their own Whole30 and allow themselves to have some things they need to just to get through the day. It's just so restrictive. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, it gets very difficult to do. On their website, you'll find that they have overcome this obstacle by giving people ideas for tips for how to do it as a vegetarian, vegan. Even with that, I've found that most people cannot sustain if they're not eating meat on this diet. In fact, it's even been argued that this diet encourages too much meat consumption because everything's so restrictive. The few things you can have, people tend to overdo it. So you have to be mindful of that as well. The third major con to the Whole30 diet is that all the weight that you lost, you will end up gaining back. It's a challenge. It's really restrictive, so you lose the weight, you tone up, but the moment you're off, if you go back to your old eating habits, the weight comes back. Usually what I see is, on average, we lose about 8 pounds as a group when we do this diet. Most people will be left with like 2 pounds gain or 2 pounds lost at the end of it, a month later, because the other 6 will come back. And you'll gain them so much faster than you lost them. It took you the whole 30 days to lose the 8 pounds, and the first week you're off the Whole30, you're already up 5-6 pounds. But that's just how it goes. The calorie deficit is gone, the restrictiveness is gone, and the weight tends to come back. Most people do not sustain the weight that they lose on Whole30. Also, most people do not properly get off of the Whole30, which is part of it. They don't take their time and slowly reintroduce one food at a time to see how they react to it. Most people are so done by the 31st day that they just want to have all the food they've been craving. If they missed ice cream, or they missed sweets, or they missed potato chips or candy, whatever it was, that 31st day, people tend to kind of go back to that, and that's why you see the weight gain. What I recommend to fight these things is that if you're doing the Whole30, you need to approach it as a challenge and not a diet. Really have that in your mind going into it. It wasn't really made for weight loss, but that so happens to be a benefit to it. When you get off of the diet, when it ends, you need to have a plan for what you're going to do after that. I think it's great if you're going to begin a new diet, like you want to become pescatarian, you want to become a vegetarian, you want to become a paleo eater or clean eating. If you want to do something like that, I think Whole30 is a great way to transition into that. And it will go more smoothly, and then that is something you can maintain for a long period of time. But the Whole30 is not the thing to keep you going forever. The Whole30 is great for opening your eyes to different things, helping you to break food addictions, to get your digestion on track. I find by the end of it, I'm usually feeling really good. But I also have to mentally prepare myself that when I come off of it, there's food I've been missing. I'm probably going to want to snack and graze and have a little bit of this thing I couldn't have and a little bit of that thing. And before you know it, the weight's slowly coming back up, and then you lost some of the benefit. So I just want to brace you for that if you're doing the Whole30 or you're considering it, so you know both sides. I still recommend it, just with a proper mindset that it's a challenge. It's going to help you to identify what's in your food, help you to be aware of hidden sugars, things like that. But you have to keep in mind when you come off of it, that weight may come back and you may lose a lot of the benefits that you saw. And that's just how it works. If you've done the Whole30 before yourself, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment below if you have some of your own pros and cons or what you've experienced. I'd love to hear it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I look forward to bringing you guys a new video now, not just on Tuesday, but also on Friday. So 2 videos a week from me. And I can't wait to show you guys more content for weight loss. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate it.